Good morning to our viewers from the DC metro area. I'm Yao.
And I'm Jack. Today we'll be covering an exciting story, the signing of the United States Neutrality Act.
The Neutrality Act has been passed on to President Roosevelt, where our news team will cover him signing it live, in addition to 2 exclusive interviews inside the Oval Office.
In an attempt to refrain from foreign affairs, President Roosevelt will be signing this Neutrality Act. The last thing our nation needs is to be involved in an event similar to World War I. Being in the midst of the Great Depression, it is important that we put our needs before foreign affairs. Looking through the eyes of someone like George Washington, it would be wise to stay out of other countries' business unless we want to end up like the Lusitania, especially with the weaknesses of the League of Nations. Now let's hand it over to Sienna at the White House.
Thank you. I'm here with Mr. Lynchburg right now. Mr. Lynchburg, how do you feel about the new act that was just passed?
I'm in favor of this new act. The United States should not be involved with any foreign affairs, especially on a continent that is across a whole ocean.
Is there any specific reason why you believe this?
Well, you see, the U.S. only has limited resources with weapons and other supplies. Why should we deplete our own resources for Britain against the Nazis? The Nazis aren't a threat to us if we don't get involved.
Before this interview, you made a speech. Do you still stand by that?
Yes, I do. I believe that we should remain neutral and agree to no compromise. But if an outside force threatens us or our territories, we should act. America has no business in anyone else's affairs unless we are forced to be. That should only be when there is an attack on us. The Western Hemisphere is our domain, and we should be allowed to do whatever we want freely, without the imposition of other countries. After getting involved with World War I, we lost a lot of money and induced a lot of suffering. Why would we want that for ourselves again?
Thank you, Mr. Lynchburg, for your insight. Next, we have an interview with the President of the United States. Thank you for speaking with me today.
I'm excited to be here today.
So we understand that you were reluctant to sign the treaty. What held you back? Why didn't you want to sign it?
Well, you see, I believe that it's a good idea for the country to be involved with its allies in foreign affairs. Allowing ourselves to be present instead of shying away will help us gain power, authority, and even further respect and recognition.
So why did you decide to sign it?
The Senate was pushing me to sign it, but the safety of the people is also important to me.
Could you tell us exactly what the act is and why and what you signed?
The act came because newly fascist governments in Europe are now being installed and are threatening war. One of the most important factors is the safety of our people and our resources. Although, as I said before, history is unpredictable and has made many unforeseen events. The act states that while we are neutral, we are also still open to the possibility of war if threatened or attacked first. The goal is to minimize interactions with belligerent nations.
Are we going to become an isolationist country?
I do not want the United States to follow isolationism completely, but I think it would be best if, for the safety of our people, to stay out of affairs to keep ourselves safe.
Will there be an extra protective measure to ensure the safety of our country?
Yes, ma'am. Patrols in the ocean around us will increase for foreign submarines lurking around. Trade and sales will decrease from hostile countries as well. There's no need to worry.
Thank you, Mr. President. Back to you, Yao.
Thank you, Sienna. It is a heavy question of debate amongst Americans as to how the U.S. should act in response to foreign affairs. When we face such questions, it is not uncommon for us to turn to our leaders of the past, as they are full of wisdom and knowledge. With us fellow Americans, George Washington is arguably our most entrusted role model.
As a reminder to our viewers at home, our first president released a statement in 1796 to announce his decision to remain in office for a 3rd term. In his statement, he offers a suggestion that the U.S. cannot fail to find certain factors, such as proportionably greater security from external danger, and a less frequent interruption of their peace by foreign nations. Therefore, George Washington justifies President Roosevelt's signing of the Neutrality Act. Thank you to our viewers for tuning into today's show. This is Jack M.
And Yao A.
Signing off.